Grana Weepinity Bong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. And today on my channel we're going to be checking a look at issue number 3 of the Transformers Shattered Glass line from IDW, where the Transformers have reversed themselves and the Decepticons are the bad guys and the Autobots are the good guys. So as I've already said, this is issue number 3 of the Shattered Glass universe. If you want to check a look at the other 2 issues, I have them also on this channel as well, so you can get right up to date with where we are. I had been covering these in line with Hasbro Pulse releasing these Shattered Glass figures, but I got an update saying that my Starscream was delayed until January, so I thought, F this for a laugh, I am not gonna get involved in this rah-rah anymore, so I've cancelled all my pre-orders on Hasbro Pulse now. I'm gonna get the figures separately, and I'm also gonna pick up the IDW comics separately. The only real difference that you got with the Hasbro Pulse ones was the cover was like a foil cover and a hard card cover. Yeah, so screw it, I want to get them earlier. So let's start off by checking a look at this artwork on the front, and this is a beautiful cover art here. We have Transformers Shattered Glass, we have the evil version of Jetfire here with all his armor on as well from the figure. That's how mine is going to be displayed. I think this looks really cool. And then we have the Shattered Glass take on Screamer himself, who looks obviously like Jetfire, which is pretty cool. And then we have Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, aka Orion Pax, during this one. And then we also have Goldbug. I'm a Goldbug! Opening this thing up then, we can see that it has its writer, art, colors, letters, editor, supervising editor, and of course, most importantly, the design. We also have this awesome Shattered Glass Transformers logo as well. Love that. The roll call for this one is going to be Megatron, Starscream. Says Optimus Prime, but in this, he only really gets called Orion Pax, so let's call him Orion Pax for the rest of it. Prowl, Soundwave, awesome. Awesome Soundwave, and then we also have Jetfire in this one as well. So we have the quick catch up, and if you remember in the last issue, Screamer finally met up with Megatron, and Megatron was in hiding, and we learned a little bit more about the history of this war and what was going on. And Starscream, to get Megatron on side, Megatron was reluctant to get back involved with any kind of war, but Screamer revealed that he was hiding a secret. And that secret revolved around Metroplex. So this issue opens up with Screamer and Megatron walking through an Autobot city. Starscream is talking about how it's strange not being alone, especially in an Autobot stronghold like Gold City. So Gold City is ran by, of course, Goldbug. So they're going through the city trying to stay a little bit incognito in these disguises, if you can call them that. Megatron even alludes to the fact that they're not the best disguises that he's ever seen in his life, and they probably could do better, but they are in search of other Decepticons. Mainly they're in search of one Decepticon, and I think we know who that is when we see Ravage, and we also see Laserbeak here. And they go in search of course, Soundwave Superior. And Soundwave says that he's basically been running this almost pirate radio station and looking for communications to support other Decepticons. So he's been hardly even moved away from this control center, he says, in absolutely cycles. So he's there running this Decepticon radio, looking for other Decepticons to support and help. Megatron and Screamer say, can they use Decepticon radio to kind of get their message out, to let people know that they need support, but Soundwave is reluctant to send the word out to everybody, as he says that some cons have absolute PTSD around the whole war type thing, so he doesn't want to reach out to everyone, and Screamer and Megatron both understand this. But Starscream does say that he has... Soundwave says that he has already reached out to some of the Seekers for Starscream. We then cut to the past, and we start to see a few things that were going on. This kind of links back to Megatron and Prowl's bit here when they were outside. I think it was Iacon, where they were protesting as miners, and it's when Megatron was arrested. So Jetfire and Starscream at this point are, again, as it is in the normal continuity, science buddies, I guess. And now they're looking for funding. So they're looking for funding to fund their project, which is trying to talk to the Titans and excavating the Titans, in this case Metroplex, and they're looking for funding. And they're getting just doors slammed in their face everywhere, apart from one door. One door seems very, very interested, and that door is the door of Mr. Orion Pax himself. But Orion Pax says he'll give them all the funding they want. However, Orion Pax doesn't want to share this information with certain people who he sees as not mentally sound enough to kind of understand the information. He wants to keep the information to himself and to his Autobot brethren, I guess, and not share it. So even though there's massive funding on the table, Starscream is not up for this and walks out. Jetfire's not happy with this, and this obviously leads to a little bit of drama between the two. Cutting back to present day, Starscream is talking about Cybertronian cities used to be bastions of philosophy and government, and now they're all run by tyrants and warlords, and he's kind of saying that it's not a good place. We need to free Cybertron. At this point, Megatron realizes that there's a little spy, and that little spy ain't Soundwave. That little spy is one of Blaster's tapes, and Starscream is talking about how it's a bit odd, and he's really glad to be following Megatron because he can never see what's going on right in front of his face, and in this instance he missed one of Blaster's spies, but Megatron spotted it. We cut back to the past and we see that Starscream and Jetfire are flying through the sky going back to Megatron, and this time they seem to have a little bit of funding, and they are going to start work on their project to excavate Metroplex. Together we can see here that they have Metroplex's head ready and willing to talk to them. So they're trying to communicate with this dude. We can see the Constructicons here. The Constructicons, red and white Constructicons here as well, doing their job. That's pretty cool. Nice little callback. We don't see Devastator in this, unfortunately, but that's a nice little hint at something that could be in the future for these comics. They then talk about the challenge of actually communicating with the Titans, but they think that they've solved the problem. Starscream thinks he has an idea on how he can do it. Jetfire brings up this funding issue again and says eventually we will run out of money, and he is really challenged by this thought and brings up Orion Pax again. Starscream again slams down the idea of working with Orion Pax, and he asks Jetfire to promise him that he will not talk about Orion Pax anymore. And Jetfire agrees, fine, no more Orion talk. Back in the present day, and we can see Blaster has aligned with all of his minions, all of them out ready to rock and roll and fight. Starscream tries to cool down the tensions, but Blaster is having absolutely none of it, which leads to this awesome kick-ass fight between Megatron and Blaster's goons. And Starscream is also there with these massive weapons. Awesome, awesome blades. Really, really like these swords that he wields during this. He says that, as always, I am ready when Megatron calls. And he is ready. He is smashing his way through, but the battle itself is all too much. They are outnumbered. Megatron tells Starscream, for the future of Cybertron, you need to save yourself, because he knows that he has all of the information around how to communicate with the Titans. So he leaves, leaving Megatron to potential destruction here, but who knows? He's got Blaster in a chokehold, so I guess we'll find out in a later episode what happened there. Starscream's calling himself stupid, stupid, stupid. Why did I leave when he told me to? I can't do this on my own. He knows he needs Megatron, and he starts to remember back again then to when he found out that Jetfire had absolutely betrayed him. He was still in talks with Orion Pax and sharing key information from what they were working on with Orion Pax, because he was stood outside, and we can see now here that there is a blank on the chest of Jetfire, but then later on in the panels we see that he has flipped it around and he has that Autobot logo there, showing he has joined the Autobots. Before, him and Starscream were seen as neutral scientists, but they have joined. He then tells the rest of the Autobots who are ready to rip Starscream apart that Starscream is not a Decepticon. Starscream agrees and says, I'm no Decepticon, but then brings on some real truths home and says he's no Autobot either, which flies Jetfire into an absolute rage. Bit of an issue with the panels here. They forgot to include the Autobot logo that was visible before. And Jetfire smashes him one right in his grill, and Starscream realizes that it's all over. His friend can't be saved, and their friendship is absolutely in tatters. So he runs away. He runs and goes to destroy everything that they've been working on, so that basically Orion Pax cannot get his hands on what has been going on over at the Titans, because they know that if the Autobots get their hand on the Titans, then this war is completely over. After destroying parts of it, Starscream decides he's going to try one more time to communicate with the Titan, but unfortunately Jetfire, Prowl and Bumblebee all appear on the scene. I think that's Hardhead as well. Is that Hardhead? Chrome Dome in the background as well appears as well. Nice. That's a really cool looking Chrome Dome. And interrupts his session trying to talk to the Titan, so he has to run away. A few cycles ago, we then cut to him coming back, and he speaks about how a lot of people have tried to communicate with the Titan over the years, and we can see that there's dirt all over the machine that he's been using, but he decides he is going to try once again to talk to the Titan, and this time we can see that it works. All of the energy rushes through him. He says that he's in absolute agony, but he also feels in harmony with the Titan. Every part of me screamed in agony. Every part of me sang in harmony with the words of the Titan. Everything I believed in, everything they wanted to take from Cybertron was in me now. So you can hear that he's got all the information from the Titan, and he's getting all this information, but as he's getting the information, SpaghettiOs, he's busted by Jetfire and Goldbug, and they now have him ready for the next issue, where we're going to see Goldbug and Jetfire and what they do with Screamer going forward. To be continued. I'm absolutely loving this. That is an absolutely epic shot of these two here. Next issue, we see Goldbug here on the front with Cybertron, it looks like, below him, so maybe he has some ideas on what he wants to do, and he wants to rule the whole of Cybertron. We have the front cover that I got, which is absolutely epic and awesome. This one we had as well, but not as keen on this one, if I'm honest. I don't like the way that it's drawn too much. Is it based on a Transformers Prime? No. Not a Transformers Prime. Let me know which one this is based on. This is based on a different take on Starscream. We see Metroplex there in the background as well. And then we have a definite War for Cybertron looking Starscream there. And yeah, I definitely know that I got the best looking cover for this one. We then have Marvel Heroes Artists Edition. So this is just an ad. The Art of Rush is coming out very soon as well, apparently. And Transformers, The Wreckers. I've not picked up any of these yet. I probably should, as this is part of the storylines that we're covering at the moment. So I'll see if I can get my hands on a few of these and start covering these on my channel as well. And at the back, we get some Toidles. We get some Toidles at the back. So pretty cool. So all in all, another fantastic issue of Transformers Shattered Glass. We have 2 more issues left to cover on the channel, and I will be super sad to see this line go. I really wish that they'd continue this. I'm loving this storyline. Love the way they flip reverse the Transformers and the Decepticons. Go out and pick up this, support these comics, and hopefully they'll make more. And let me know your thoughts on everything down in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, in a bit. Peace!